We are back with Andrew Lambrou, whose Break a Broken Heart represented Cyprus and garnered the country its best results since Fuego. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Can you start by telling us a little bit about your relationship to Eurovision growing up?
I was born and raised in Sydney, Australia. And when I was a very young boy, around 5, 6 years old, my grandmother would have Eurovision on every year. And we'd watch it and we'd cheer on, of course, Greece and Cyprus. I was in awe of Eurovision. My grandmother, she would make jokes and she would say, Andrew, one day you'll be on that stage. And I was like, we'll see. And it actually happened.
So then talking about that Eurovision experience, can you tell us how you came to represent Cyprus?
Yeah, so it all came out once I got this very miraculous email from Cyprus telling me that they were interested in me representing Cyprus.
You had no context for this, right?
I literally woke up one day and I was like, okay, wow, is this even real? Let's do some digging. There were some negotiations and stuff like that. Like, I live in Australia, I have to be in Cyprus a fair few times for preparations and stuff like that. So there was a lot to work out, but it ended up being the most smooth process. The people that I met and the team that I had were just amazing.
You are used to having your team a certain amount of like creative control, and there is this other voice in the room, right? Because you're representing not only yourself, but Cyprus.
I felt like myself throughout the whole experience. They made that happen. It even comes down to the clothes that you're wearing on the stage and the clothes that you're wearing in interviews. All that stuff is important for an artist. And when you feel comfortable in your own skin, you are given the opportunity to perform to the best of your abilities. And they really made that happen.
Before Cyprus, you auditioned to represent Australia with the song Electrify.
Yeah.
Can you tell us if it felt different representing Cyprus?
I got the opportunity to participate in Australia Decides. I think that things work out for a reason. It was special trying to represent Australia. Then this opportunity with Cyprus came along and Cyprus embraced me so much. And also my relationship with Voyager, I really developed a strong relationship with them through Australia Decides. So to go to Eurovision the year after, representing different countries but being friends, like, it was just special.
Some people have like grumblings around whether Australia should be part of the competition. As mentioned, we're in America, and this year was the first year Americans could vote with the rest of the world vote. Can you talk a little bit about the expansion of Eurovision?
Eurovision was created to unite Europe. And I think that we've gotten to a point now where Eurovision unites even more than just Europe. Eurovision brings so many people together, and it has such a big fan base now. Like, America, Australia has followed it very closely for a very long time. That is the most important element of Eurovision in this world that we live in today, with all these different things happening and crazy things happening. At the end of the day, this is a music contest that brings the world together. It does so much good. And I think that the more people that can be impacted by that good is better.
And I think a lot of audience members in America might not realize that when you watch Eurovision live in Australia, it's not the most convenient time of day.
It's about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Perfect time for a party, right?
Yeah. But there's a lot of dedicated fans here in Australia. Yeah. It's beautiful.
You've got a very pop sound. But in thinking particularly about representing Cyprus and your heritage, do you see being Greek Cypriot having any effect on your music?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Yes, it does influence what I do. Even in the studio, when it comes to working out what sounds to use, what drums to use, there are Greek drum and even melodies, different scales and stuff like that. I would love to collaborate with many Greek artists, Cypriot artists. Eleni Ferreira would be fantastic. Argyros would be amazing. Andromachi, she represented Cyprus last year. Like Evangelia, she's fantastic as well.
I love that the experience of representing Cyprus in and of itself was a connection to your heritage. Even the trip that you took, I think, pre-Eurovision.
I went and visited the villages where my grandparents are from. When I went to see where my family comes from, where it all began, it was just a really special feeling. I've got this connection now to where I come from even more than I did before.
At the competition's best, it encourages a kind of internationalism. The influences come from so many different places. I just had to ask because I was listening to Electrify. There's like a Spanish section in it, right?
Yeah.
What was that decision? Have you always sort of thought of yourself as like an international artist who wants to like reach lots of different people, even before all the Eurovision stuff?
I just felt like, why not? I really didn't overthink it too much. I do feel that one of my long life dreams is to be able to do like a world tour one day, and each country that I visit, be able to sing one song in their language. That's why I learned Molitva, which was in Serbian when Maria won in 2007. I love that song. And no, I don't speak a word of Serbian, but I really put my head down and I tried my absolute best to get the dialect right and sing the song the way it should be. I love listening to music from all around the world. Traveling as well makes you see that on a different level. Right now, I'm sitting in Corfu in Greece. You're seeing elements of Italy here. Eurovision is the ultimate place where that all combines.
Can you talk a little bit about Break a Broken Heart? What was it about the song that spoke to you, and how does it compare to Electrify as a potential Eurovision entry?
When we were going through the process of finding a song, I was listening to many, many, many songs. And when I first heard Break a Broken Heart, I thought to myself, okay, wow, huge vocal, a lot of pressure to put on myself, but it is powerful. I could just imagine that song on a Eurovision stage with this huge stage production, and I accepted the challenge and I worked for 7 months to be able to sing that song with ease, because I can tell you that I could not sing that song with ease at the beginning, but I worked very hard.
So they came to you to participate, and then they gave you like a bunch of songs to listen to for you to pick. Is that how the process was?
Yeah, so they really believed in me representing Cyprus. And they basically said, we don't have the song chosen yet, but we want you to do it. So I accepted that, of course. And then it was time to find songs. And again, the team did such a great job with all the connections they have and the relationships that they have to find songs and source songs. And then it was Break a Broken Heart that caught the attention of myself the most. And then next thing you know, I was off to Sweden to record it. And as I mentioned, it was something that was vocally a lot harder than Electrify. And honestly, there were moments all the way in Australia where I was practicing too much. My family had to tell me to take a break. There were moments where I would just get up and sing at 1 o'clock in the morning in my car, start practicing just nonstop, really. And then I started to work out a balance between resting my voice and practicing. I got to a point where I was really confident. And I think that is the main thing for me. If you walk onto the stage doubting your abilities, then you're going to have some problems. But if you walk onto the stage knowing that you can do this a million times over, what's the difference?
The staging was very clean and simple. And I think often in Eurovision, there's a temptation to go very big.
And related to the build of the song. And by the end of the song, you have this, you're surrounded by fire and all the passion is coming out. And we didn't want to go too crazy. It was just me on stage, just me doing my thing. Originally, we had this fire at the back of the stage that was on this big box, but it just wasn't enough for us. So that's when we went with the big flames that was around the circle.
Coming out of Eurovision, one thing I've heard you say in interviews is it has opened you to this new audience, right? Is there a different vibe to the Eurovision audience or a European audience as opposed to an Australian audience?
Yeah, there is for sure. With Eurovision, you're exposed to all these different genres, all these different people, and you're also exposed to the beautiful fans of Eurovision, which are very dedicated. And you have this fan base that sticks by you after. And, there is a difference between different countries, but my goal always is to reach as many people as I possibly can and to try and perform all around the world. I even feel that holidaying around Greece at the moment, so many people have come up and said so many beautiful things, and it's quite shocking to me.
That's amazing. Wrapping up, are there ways that participating in Eurovision has changed you as an artist, do you think?
Eurovision really has made me understand that this is exactly what I was meant to do in life. I've always felt it, but now that I've been able to show myself that I could do it on a scale that large, it's almost like this giant weight off my shoulders. I can't wait to step on another stage. So I'm very grateful for Eurovision.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much, Andrew. This was really wonderful. And we hope to see you when you play the US.
I shall see you there. I'll let you know when I'm coming.
All the mysteries of the Euroverse.